This segment of the CU podcast is sponsored by Jelly Transparent Face Masks.
One thing I've noticed at work during the pandemic is that when you can't see each other's faces, when they're all messed up, it really kind of changes how we interact with each other.
Sure.
When you can't see smiles or read lips, it changes our comprehension. And then you have customers who are harder of hearing, and the ability to see, the person's face really kind of helps, understand everything, keep it moving.
And it makes it just a little bit more normal. So that's where Jelly Transparent Face Mask comes into play. I don't demonstrate. Put one of these on while Ian explains it.
Yeah, it's clinically tested. Has filtration efficiency measured to be 99.7%. Has an anti-fog surface, which is perfect for all temperatures. And it's transparent, which, as we said, is helpful for people who rely on lip reading. It's got a silicone rubber gasket to support the nose for better comfort. Look at Pat.
Yeah, you
real
can see
comfortable
me.
there.
You can see me smile with it.
And it has adjustable straps and available in 3 colors, a white, a black, and a pink.
All right, so if you want to save 10% right now on your Jelly mask, you can use code CU Podcast at JELLYM, JELLIM.com. Again, use code CU Podcast to save 10% off at JELLYM.com. All right, we got voice messages. What's now becoming a favorite. You can go to anchor.fm/the CU Podcast. Try to keep it a little short if you can. Just say, hey, here's my question, Pat. I'm from Antarctica. We're experimenting, and there's this thing that's killing everyone. Here we go. Did that take place in Antarctica? The thing? Where did the thing take place? Was it Antarctica?
Yes. Technically, it's in Antarctica. It was filmed in Alaska, I believe.
Oh, sure. It's a little easier to get to Alaska than Antarctica to film. All right.
God, what a great fucking movie.
I still haven't seen the whole thing of the 82.
What?
No, I haven't. That was my reaction to Big Trouble in Little China. That was my exact reaction.
Holy shit!
I know. I got to see it because I love Kurt Russell.
Wow!
I know.
Wow!
Okay, how was the second remake, the recent one from the past 10 years? Was that decent?
I haven't watched it.
Okay, here's the
There's
first
no
one.
reason to.
Okay.
Hey, Pat and Ian, this is Marty calling from Long Island. Big fan of the show.
Long Island.
This is for Ian. Jared Leto, Joker Jesus. Jared Leto, Joker
Thank you.
Jesus. Jared Leto, Joker Jesus. Joker in a movie. Snyder Power.
Oh, nice. It's good.
All right, thanks, Marty. Next time you just go right into the bit, I think. You can just go right into the bit.
Marty, can you believe that Pat has not seen the entirety of the thing?
I never brought that up before. I never not bring that up before. The next one is time sensitive, so usually I don't care. But here's the next one.
Ian, Pat, Justin Macaluso here, mayor candidate for San Antonio, Texas. It's been a while since I've asked anybody this question, but I'm just curious, what video games are you currently playing? Me? I'm in the middle of Doom 64. Anyways, I enjoy the podcast, and y'all take care. Thanks.
So I looked up Justin on Ballotpedia, which is a great website for politics. So he is on the ballot.
Oh.
And it is, I think May 1st is the election for San Antonio.
Oh, all right.
Well, he said San Antonio, right?
Yeah, he said San Antonio.
So good luck, Justin. But I looked in the ballot. There's like 20 people on the ballot, so I don't know if you're going to... But hey, we can do a little sweetheart deal if you get in. I know a napkin supplier that could supply the cafeteria at the...
A napkin supplier.
I don't know. You know those sweetheart deals in politics?
What am I playing right now? I'm playing Monster Hunter right now. That's pretty much all I'm playing. I'm trying to focus on that. And I just yesterday got my copy of Scott Pilgrim in the mail from Limited Run. So I'll probably be starting to play through that
Oh, very
shortly.
nice. Is that your first limited run game?
No, I have a couple.
A couple?
I have a few.
I still don't have any somehow.
Really?
I don't, and I know the people that run the company. I don't like asking for stuff. I was gonna buy what was the one I bought?
I bought all of this.
No, I'm just saying like it's you think I'd have one by now.
Sure.
I just don't, and it's not because I don't like the company obviously or anything. I just don't. I don't want to buy it and just put. I don't want to just buy it, put it on the shelf and not play it. That's the thing. I'm afraid of doing that.
Yeah.
For that, but I should for them because I like those guys, and they hopefully like me. Okay. Next.
Hey Pat, hey Ian, happy spring guys. My question to you guys is, what's you guys' take on expensive games like Klonoa on the PlayStation 1,
brought that up.
Parasite Eve 2, and Silent Hill? I personally don't think that those games should be past the $100 mark, but that's my opinion. Anyways, guys, much love and respect, and happy spring. Wishing you guys a safe one. This is El Wedo signing off.
We just talked about PS1 games. It's so weird because I was going through with Ian. I was like, I have a lot of PS1 games that are worth money. That the same thing like the GameCube that 5-6 years ago they weren't worth anything, and now they're worth a ton. Some of this stuff.
So I mean, from a buyer's standpoint, and even
It's
from
capitalism.
even from a seller's standpoint, I don't want the games to be over $100. I've got to pay more to get them. People are a little bit pickier about the condition once games start getting up there. So I don't want them to be that. But I mean, what we want doesn't matter. It's what the market decides, and the market for games right now is dumb crazy.
Sure. It's one of those things that now it's always it's the 20 to 25 years. Obviously, COVID helped push up all this stuff.
Yes.
It's a weird anomaly because none of us saw that coming. Where it's like, oh, we need to spend money on stuff because we're all indoors and we have extra money potentially from stimulus and from PPP and other stuff and unemployment. And that drove prices up. No one saw that coming. So whenever I try to say, Pat, you were wrong about the retro game prices going down, it's like, no, we weren't, because they were happening for most of these systems, and then it got a little shot in the arm, pardon the pun, because of COVID. I'm just shocked. I have a disc-only Klonoa I told Ian about. I'm like, I picked it up at the swap meet. I can probably get $200 just for that disc now.
Yeah.
It's like, it's nuts. I should have pieced this stuff together. If I'd known this would have exploded, I could have pieced. I have random PS1 games where it's like, oh, I'm missing one of the 3 discs, or I'm missing the manual. I never thought about putting it together because PS1 is not my console. But if I'm going to sell some of this stuff, I probably should have. It's kind of too late for something like Klonoa, which complete goes for several $100s, to do that. I just think it's interesting. Everything, like I said, everything, it happens with everything, I guess. All right, next one.
Hey, Pat and Ian. It's Michael from Colorado. Long-time caller, first-time listener. Pat, I remember you had once mentioned finding night vision goggles at the flea market.
Not a
What are
goggles.
some of the best non-gaming related finds that you two have found at the swap meet? Thanks. Take care.
It was a scope, military grade, I think 2nd gen night vision scope, which I had to get fixed. That was worth $1,000 at the time. I bought it for $10.
Wow.
I remember at the time being like, wow, this is cool. I probably should have bought it regardless, but I looked it up on my phone because it's hard to look that stuff. It's not going to be on eBay. I'm like, oh, I think it's this goggle. I turned right around and said, yeah, I'll take this. I didn't sell it. I probably should have. I just kept it because it was so fucking cool. You can literally go in a dark room and turn it on. Like, wow, I can see everything. That's how you can kill people. I guess it's amazing. It's somewhere in the house. I kind of know where it is. I lost it for a year after the move. I didn't know where it is. I thought I let someone borrow it, and I got freaked out. But no, I still have it. So that was the top one for me, for sure. There's been a couple others. I like stupid shit. Like, I find a shoe rack for $10 you put together. That's like $70 on. Like, it's always the practical stuff that I found. The little big ladder. Remember, I was talking to Ian, or someone said, I need this ladder.
Yes.
I went to the swap meet that Sunday, and this is when I was not going to swap meet every week, and I found it for like $40, and that's like a $300 ladder. And I was like, this is awesome. That's where I get more pumped about than anything else.
I honestly, when I've done thrifting, it's almost been entirely for video game related stuff. But I did find, I'd say my 2 favorite finds that aren't video game related. I found a 4-track digital recorder at a electronics recyclables place once, and one of my favorite pickups, non-gaming related. I bought the 12-inch single of Sean Paul's Temperature for $1. That was a wonderful find.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's probably not worth $1. It's probably worth 50 cents. But I bought it, and I was happy.
Hey, Pat and Ian, Tommy Tallarico checking in again, okay? I just wanted to let you losers in on some hot new IPs. I just scored for some brand new Amico games that are coming out, already in the works. We got Rise of the Robots Championship Edition, okay? Next, finally, by popular demand, we got a big bad Beetleborg game coming out, okay? We got Baby Moses Deluxe Edition, and last but not least, the long-awaited sequel to Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Okay, goof on that. I dare you.
I know that's not really Tommy, because Plumbers Don't Wear Ties would never be
too new.
Well,
Well, that's the thing. Stuff is too new. But yes, that's adults only.
yes.
Well, here's the thing. Fake Tommy. I'd have more respect for you because those are properties that are at least within the past. Rise of the Robots was what, like 95, 96?
Game is awful.
They just announced the Harlem Globetrotters license for the Amico. So we're talking about stuff that peaked in like 1972, along with Evil Knievel. That's the license they're getting.
I mean, I love me the Globetrotters.
Oh, who doesn't? But that's not something kids know about or care about.
Hey, it's for the kids.
It is for the kids, but that's not a property that no one knows about. I think they came here like a few years ago.
They're here like every year. They play up at
Sports Arena.
Fucking Sports Arena.
I want to say this. I want to address something real quick.
It's the General's year.
I still feel bad for ruining the official Intellivision Amico Reddit because it's been taken over as a corporate Reddit account, which I'm not sure if that's against or not the terms of service of Reddit. But there is an alternative Intellivision Amico Reddit. It's Intellivision_Amico subreddit, where a lot of the people that were either kicked off the official Amico Reddit, and these are people that were looking forward to this, we're just asking questions, like just sensible, rational business questions, are now forced to be on this Reddit. The CEO, Tommy Tallarico, Ian, posted on there, finally, when he discovered all those, I have to try to, get on these people's good side. He did a post called Into the Lion's Den. And my name came up a few times, as it's apt to do in these conversations. And yours come up to a lesser extent, but, I take the brunt usually. That's okay. And then I don't usually respond to a lot of the personal attacks and slander against my character that Tommy Tallarico does and usually tweets out. I have him muted, so I don't see it. But I will address something he said here, because he just makes shit up to try to make me look worse than what I really am. And listen, I'm not the best person in the world. And I rub people the wrong way, but I will respond to some of this where I know it's outright lies. And I own my faults usually too. Someone talked about, I guess, they brought me up about, smear campaigns against me that Tommy has engaged in smear campaign against me and enlisting minor sycophantic YouTubers to make attack videos on Ian and me. But he said something in particular. He said that I throw people on the subreddit under the bus. I don't know anyone on the subreddit. I never throw anyone under the bus. I don't know what he's talking about. He throws you guys under the bus to others every chance he gets. I don't know what he's talking about here. But then he says this, Ian, we do have a lot of the same friends, and they find his behavior regarding me and Amico appalling. He's lost a lot of friends and followers because of his attitude towards us and many others in the retro community. Ian, do you think me and Tommy Tallarico have the same friends?
No.
A lot of the same friends? No. Have you lost any friends because of your outspokenness about the Amico?
No.
Has anyone even behind the scenes come to you or has said, hey, Ian, you're being a little too far, or Pat's going a little too far and you guys got to watch yourselves?
No.
Has anyone who has ever, and we know people that are in charge of conventions and expos, have anyone then ever said, guys, we can't ask you back. That Amico stuff, that's going too far.
Yeah, no.
And I know about 8 to 10 people that personally run these conventions too. So this is just another example of Tommy. This is where it becomes personal, where I have to respond to something like this. And expression, you should have gone down in the mud with the pig because the pig doesn't mind it. Mm-hmm. And Tommy is a pig when it comes to this stuff. But this is stuff that he'll have to answer for eventually. Stuff like this to me. He'll have to answer for stuff like this. No one fucking cares. My friends either don't know about this stuff, and these are people that are online or YouTube or stuff, or when they find out about it, they laugh it off and know it's a joke. It's a fucking joke, the console. That's what it comes down to. But it's just another way for him to try to wage war because his console product is not doing well when it finally comes out, and it won't. So you attack the messengers. That's all I'm going to say. Let's see if anything else to add.
No.
Did I cover it?
I think you did.
Ian, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore. You talk about a console that looks like shit.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Vinny Vicious here. In a recent episode of the CU podcast, someone asked about punk, and Ian said he liked 1 or 2 bands. But come on, Ian. Didn't you once let a bunch of stranger punk kids in your house and discuss starting a band with one?
What?
Aren't you part of a Game Boy collective that puts out a not-for-profit fanzine that supports grassroots movements? Didn't you have a writing credit in the hardcore band Go Go Go's record liner notes?
do.
Don't you DJ DIY house parties? And didn't you sub in Capitalist Casualties when their drummers was in the hospital?
No.
Come on, Ian. You're pretty punk.
Wow, I think you know that person, Ian.
Thank you, Rick. I do feel more punk now. I appreciate you saying
You did
that.
sub in a band called Capitalist Casualties.
No, that was just a joke.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised.
I would, but I can't play the drums.
What was the one thing he said that you did that you wrote something for
I have a writing credit. So his band Go Go Go. There is a song about PewDiePie. And
what?
He did. He quoted me saying that PewDiePie has a sewage pump heart.
That's in a song.
It's in a song.
And you never told me about that?
No. Yes, I did.
Is that online? What type of genre?
Like speedcore, like very, very fast.
You gotta send me
Just
that.
a drummer and
now I'm interested.
and guitar.
Okay. You're punking. You're punking away.
I've got the tape.
I'm not sure all that qualified for the punk attitude, but yeah, punk's more of an attitude than the hair or the lifestyle or the music.
Hey, Pat and Ian, this is Kate from Texas.
Hey, Kate.
I have
Hi,
a question
Kate.
for Pat. In all of your travels to Texas for conventions, what is your favorite memory of Texas? Thanks for your time and your attention, and keep up the great work, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kate. I don't get a lot of travel time when I go to these conventions, so I can just say Cheddar's because I love that chain. I really enjoyed when we went to I went to Austin Classic Game Fest and Norm was there. We went to this was the best. It was a dry rub barbecue house. I went with OK Chief. We love OK Chief. I think you met OK Chief in person yet. He would love you. He's best guy, big hearted guy. Brought us to this. It was a place that was featured, and I think in it was the barbecue place that was featured in Smokey and the Bandit. And it was the greatest barbecue I ever had. Like I said, it was a dry rub barbecue.
I love dry rub barbecue.
They brought us to the back where they showed the giant smokers where it's like 140 degrees. You can't stand close. You know what I mean? Like, that was a great memory. I have not been to the National Video Game Museum yet in Frisco. I gotta get out to that at some point, unless I'm banned because I criticized the Amico. I have not had a chance to sightsee, unfortunately, in Texas. I have not. And it's a shame because like whenever you go there, especially Retropalooza, the Ranger Stadium is right there, and the Dallas Cowboy Stadium is like right there. They're like so close, and they haven't had a chance yet. All right, it's next.
Hey guys, Josh from Southern Indiana here. Regarding your Nintendo remakes, I was just throwing in my 2 cents of Balloon Fight. Love the game, and I know you guys like it too, and it would make a great, maybe even like a Super Mario 35 thing for the Switch. But yeah, modern HD remake.
Ian's into
really, really killer for that game. Get rid of the darn bonus, because that just takes up too much time. Take it easy.
I think I think Balloon Fight would actually make a really good battle royale type game. That could be a lot of fun.
Nintendo, you hear that? When's it? Is this the 30? Is this the 35th anniversary of Balloon Fight? 86? Did that come out earlier in Japan?
I don't know.
Then 86. Let's look it up. Balloon Fight. 5s and 0s. When was Balloon Fight released? It was 84 initially. Oh, because was it a VS game in the arcade?
Yes.
Okay, we missed it. Damn it, we missed it.
Oh no, we'll have to wait for the 40th anniversary of Balloon Fight.
Damn it, what to be the podcast for what? 4 more years. 4 more years. We just missed it. Oh, no, 2 more years. 3? I can't do any math. Yeah, it came out NES June 86. All right, we'll hit it in June. 2 months from now, we can do it. 35th. 5s and 0s. Next.
Hey, Pat and Ian. This is Phil from Wayne, New Jersey, calling again.
Jersey!
Pat, just wanted to let you know I actually grew up around the corner from the fire station where they used to do the toy show.
Yeah! Twice a month.
I wanted to see if you guys think we have officially come to the end of the mini console craze. There really doesn't seem to be anything new coming out on the horizon, at least from announcements. Love the show, guys. Thanks so much as always.
Oh yeah, Sony killed it. I mean, you can probably blame Sony for putting the nail in the coffin of the minis.
Yeah,
because it was just an ill-conceived in price and in quality and in games offered. Where like they not saying they single-handedly did it, because at that point you already had Genesis and Super and NES, and then I mean Turbo did come out afterwards, but no one knows Turbo graphics.
Right, and that was more niche.
Nietzsche? I never read Nietzsche.
But yeah, I think in terms of the popular ones, yeah, Sony killed it.
I mean,
actually, the Mini Genesis came out after that, and that was fine too.
Was that after that or before?
Yeah, it was after. Fairly certain that was after.
I'll look that up real quick.
Yeah, might as well. But there isn't a whole lot. I mean, all the big popular ones are done. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, done. Nintendo said they weren't going to do a 64 one right away, and they will eventually, but as I've said about it before, I think Nintendo values those games more. They're not going to give you 20 of those. They're not going to give you 20 of those on an $80 to $100 console when they're still, well, they value them at about $20 a piece, as evidenced by the 3D All-Stars collection.
Oh, you're right. The PlayStation Classic was December 2018. That seems like it was like last year. Or that, wow, that was 2.5 years ago. And then the Genesis one was a year after that. So you basically had 1 year. You had NES Classic, Super Nintendo the next year. PlayStation tried to do theirs, and then the Genesis.
Yeah.
After that, though, you're running out of steam, especially for North America, for consoles that people cared about, and you can make a classic of cheap. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I mean, people keep saying, why don't you do an N64 one? Well, there are the emulation issues that you would not be able to do it properly, which again, come back to. Or else Nintendo probably would have done it by now.
No, like I just said, I don't think they would have. Nintendo values those games at a much higher price point.
But I guess. Yeah, they did the Super Mario re-release 64. I guess. Yeah, you're right.
They value those too high. They're not going. They will eventually, but they're not going to shove 20 N64 games onto a $100.
It would be. You would get like 20 games. You get 20 games, and there would not be GoldenEye, and people would be pissed off just because of that alone. Yeah. Probably. Maybe that's why I did it.
But they value them higher. They value them exactly at about $20.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a while.
No Game Boy one. Remember the Game Boy Classic rumors? But that'd be its own handheld, though. How can you do that?
Right.
That's kind of. I'd be really interested to see how well that would sell, though. We always talk about how Nintendo's like ignored the Game Boy, especially the OG Game Boy and even Game Boy Color. It's not really a thing they talk about, or it's almost like the Virtual Boy. It's like a forgotten history, almost. All right, we'll do a few more here.
Hey, what's up, Pat and Ian? My question to you guys is, what is your most fond memory playing poker? Whether it's biggest win or most fun had? Personally, I think No Limit Texas Hold'em is one of the greatest games of all time. Anyways, love the show. You guys are both awesome.
Thanks, Jonathan. No, I love Texas Hold'em. I wish I got into it earlier. And I did. If there was not a pandemic last year and it was a normal year, I was thinking about going to the World Series of Poker. Which would have been in July last year. I was actually thinking about it. If I had the money to try it, I was thinking about that. In terms of, I play mostly online now, just with friends. I've only done in person a handful of times, and that wasn't true. No Limit, so you can't really say that. What's the? Ian had experience playing, I think, before me in terms of what was like the best win, or I guess, or best moment you had.
So yeah, no, I remember it clearly because it was the last time I played poker. So I like poker. I like it a lot. I think it's a super fun game, but I don't play it. I don't really gamble. But it was before I moved out here, I got into playing poker with some of the cooks at the Italian restaurant that I worked at. And I played like 3 games with them, and I left every game up. And my last game, I ended up walking with I think it was like 110 on a $20 buy-in. And I stopped playing after that. It wasn't
you more than quadrupled your money.
Yeah, I made a lot of money that night in terms of like what I left, and I was just like, I'm done. Those 3 games, like I was riding such a high after those 3 games.
You're catching cards, or you were just playing the best poker you ever played?
I was just playing really good poker, and that 3rd game, it was I caught good cards too. But it was just I was on top of it, and I was like, I love the game, but I don't need to gamble, is what it comes down to.
To me, it's not really the gambling; it's the skill competition.
Yes, it is, and I like it. I just don't like playing stuff for money. I don't really do stocks. I don't really gamble. I don't really do anything like that. I touch on it, and it's fun every once in a while, but it's not something I've ever wanted to make.
You got into the Dogecoin?
Yeah, it's not something. It's not something I ever wanted to make.
Hope you cashed out.
It's not something I wanted to ever make a regular occurrence.
Sure. I play, like I said, we play like a Zoom when it's like 9 people. So it is cash, but it's a small amount buy-in. It's like $50 buy-in. So and you can rebuy, but most you won't lose more than for $200 if you buy in 4 times, but that's rare. And I usually at least break even. The best time I had was breaking even because I was not catching cards, and I folded hands that
so you had to play well.
I played well to break even.
Sure, that's exciting.
That was the most fun. I don't have fun sometimes, even if I win. If I feel like there was shitty, I'm the type of player where I'll make a good decision, and this happens to everyone. But I've whenever I go in with if someone goes all in, I call them with aces. I lose like most of the time. That's just my luck. I'll lose to queens, or to jacks, or to tens. And I'm just like, you win those. You're supposed to win those like 80% of the time. You're supposed to win those, and it happens a lot to me where I don't mind those, but I like, okay, it's a bad beat, but I more like when I make a good decision. And a good decision means saving a lot of money, not just winning money. And that happened to me this one game where it's like, wow, it's like, yeah, I folded like a full house when the other person had a better full house. Like, it's had a weird feeling, stuff like that.
Right.
Where you're supposed to lose money, but something tells you based upon how they're betting and the type of player where, okay, I'm beat here, even though most of the time I should be good. That was the most fun I had. I ended up winning like $1, but I was like, no, I played the best poker of my life.
Like you
if
said,
I had decent cards, I would have won. You know what I mean?
I didn't play poker because I wanted to win money. I played poker because it's a fun game,
It's a challenge.
and money is part of it.
Yes.
So
that's the thing.
Yeah, you could have a really fun game where you walk away with like you said, $1 or $2, but
yes,
getting to that point was the excitement.
Yeah, where you're engaged.
Yep.
But usually if you get a bunch of crappy cards, you do not have a good night. But usually it evens out throughout the night, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you start out with bad cards and it doesn't get any better. But usually you start out with bad cards and it evens out because of its randomness. There's a mean there. All right, we got one more.
Hi guys, this is Jose from Michigan, calling this time with a question for Ian. Ian, do game store employees have an advantage when it comes to acquiring games for their collection? It seems like you might not have to do much game hunting if the games are coming to you. Or is there some kind of rule for game stores in which employees can't buy games that are traded in until they have been made available to customers first? How does that work for Luna? Thank you. That's all I have. You have a good day.
Thanks for the question. It's a good question. A little bit of both, actually. So, yes, it is one of the perks of working at a game store is you do get to see every trade-in that comes through. And yeah, it does make it a little bit easier. Obviously, the owner doesn't care if it comes in, he's going to sell it to you, and he'll sell it for he'll give you a decent discount on it. But he's making the money either way. So, selling to customers is fine. The first few years any new game store employee works there, I would say for the first 6 months to a year, they're definitely setting aside piles and taking stuff home. But with every game store employee I've ever seen, eventually you just kind of get numb to it. You see all these trade-ins all the time, and almost the opposite starts to happen. A game comes in and you might really want it, but you go, at least this is how I think. I know this is how some of my coworkers think. You go, put it out there. I'm going to see it again in 2-3 weeks anyways. Sure. So, it is very exciting at first. It's very exciting at first, but it eventually you start it's part of what helped me get rid of my NES collections. Part of it, you realize just how fluid this shit is. With the exception of super rare games, there's always going to be another copy of Contra that comes around, or another copy of something that comes around if you're willing to bide your time. So I think it naturally happens less and less with employees the longer they're there. What is that coming from?
That's my email. Oh. Sorry, shutting it down.
That's all right. I was gonna say something else. We do try to, especially around the holidays, though. We do try to make sure stuff gets put out front.
Sure.
We definitely we hoard stuff less, and luckily with the people we've hired, they've all been good people who realize that, hey, you can't hold a bunch of this stuff, or you can't take everything good that comes around, especially around the holidays, because people want to see that you have variety. So if we're really low on certain things, or if it's been a long time since we got a really good Switch trade-in, but there's games in there we've been looking for, more often than not, we're going to put them on the shelf and give people a shot at them.
Now, have you ever felt guilty because you picked up a game, then someone came in like the next day and said, "Oh, you have this game," and you're like, "No, we don't have it," because you just took it home? That ever happen?
No, I mean,
is that rare?
It's
or
not...
or you want weird shit like Mahjong games or a PC Engine game that no one else probably want?
No, it's just like I said, we pay for it. I don't ever feel that bad about it, and we do try to give customers first shot on a lot of stuff.
Except for Pat when he finds out a big Vectrex collection comes in, and it's gone before Pat knows about it.
That went super fast.
Yeah, it did, Ian. It absolutely went fast.
All right, well, that's that. Excuse me.